we get to see the front of the picture, and we see like, oh, okay, I understand why that wasn't the timing for me for this, or why,
Mhm.
how this connected to this, or how meeting this person actually opened up this whole, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
don't, it's messy on this side. We don't
Mhm.
see all the connections, but once, we're over there, we have the opportunity to see like, oh, okay, so this is why that person came to me that day and told me
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was complaining, or what, all the little things that we just dismiss.
Yeah. 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 So, like I said, that was something to take to heart. So, moving forward, Joy.
Yeah.
So, tell us about some of the challenges that you faced in life. I read your bio and I seen
Yeah.
some of the things that you went through, that you endured, and that you've overcame. So, can you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
I mean, I think there's so much, since we already have been kind of I've kind of an inordinate amount of craziness and trauma in my life, but since we were just talking about the WWE thing, I think maybe that's an easy one to use to illustrate. I mean, to look from the outside, people would have thought, "Oh, she's on top of the world. She's on international television every week, and has this great career, and it's what a lot of people would strive for." But what people didn't realize is, behind the scenes, I had two little kids I was providing for. My kids were 3 and 5. My
Hmm.
marriage was failing. It was not going well. I was also providing for other family members, and really had so much responsibility on my shoulders that I needed to just be who everyone else needed me to be, and show up how everyone else needed me to show up. But I was breaking inside. And then when I shockingly lost my contract, they just called me one day. I had my suitcase by the door, prepared to go full time on the road with them. At that time, I had only been required to show up for televised things, but I was going to go, dedicate my whole life to them and surrender, basically, is what I thought I was doing. And I got this call, it's not personal, it's just business. We're releasing a lot of people. You're basically, you're done. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And um, my whole world came crashing down. I ended
Yeah.
up losing my house. My marriage failed shortly after that. It was just so messy. And then it's, how do you pick up those pieces and decide, I still got these kids that I'm raising and providing for. Now I'm on my own and paying for attorneys, and losing family members that I was supporting because that's what they were there for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, my whole world got turned upside down, and I just kind of felt that call in my heart to return to. It was this real, almost like fork in the road, because when in acting you lose a contract, or the show's over or whatever, you back to auditioning every day, and they
Hmm.
don't care what time your kids get out of school. They really don't. So I needed something that I could manage my schedule, and I loved being a mom more than anything else. So I just had to refocus and rebuild, and kind of almost felt like breadcrumbs leading me back through. Okay, now you're going to start working with athletes, because I had worked with a lot of athletes in my acting career, a lot of fighters and things. Okay,
Hmm.
now you're going to have this opportunity. Actually, it's how I moved to San Diego. I started a whole side business with a friend. We did an ice cream truck, which is a whole different story. But one day when I was driving around this ice cream truck, I told you I wanted to learn Reiki so bad. I went to this one neighbor's house, and someone was there that he introduced me to that I'd never seen. She's not even from the neighborhood, really. And I said, "What do you do?" And she said, "Oh, I'm a Reiki teacher. I teach this." And I was like, "Oh my God, will you teach me this?" And so I ended up working with her for a couple of years. So it's kind of like each thing that I accepted and decided to try opened a new opportunity for me. And I didn't
Hmm.
realize that at the time, which is often how it is. Like we were
Yeah.
saying, I was slowly kind of climbing these rungs out of this really terrible full breakdown of my entire life to get to where I am now. And I still feel like I'm a work in progress. I mean, I think that's part of the beauty of life, is we get
Yeah.
to keep working on ourselves and
Yeah.
growing and evolving.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, working on yourself, and it's amazing. Like you say, you lost this and you lost that, and
Yeah.
how you didn't have the desire to give up, and saying keep pushing, where your kids were the focus. Like, hey, I can't give up. I still got two little kids that I have to
Yeah.
provide for. And just going through the emotional trauma of everything else that you have to deal with, like you say, losing the contract, a marriage in shambles, and then that breakup, family
Yeah.
members, and people that you're supporting, whom you felt as though they loved you because of you, and then
Yeah.
to
And that's your
find out that
family.
they
That's
didn't
what you
love
do.
you.
Right.
Yeah,
So, Yeah.
Yeah, so all these hurting things that at one time, but to be able to put all that to the side and still build yourself up and say, you know what, I'm more than a conqueror. Like I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
on going, I'm gonna keep on building, and like you say, look where you at now. Hey, sometimes we have to go through some things, forks in the road. Maybe it's us. Maybe we have to look at ourselves like, man, why am I going through this? Why did I go through that? Why did I go through this?
Yeah.
Or, one thing that I found out in life, Joy, and this is and I'm gonna be honest with you. One thing I found out in life, that sometimes some doors may open for us,
Yeah.
and there's some people that's connected to us that's not allowed to go through the door, but because of our attachment to them, we
Yeah.
want to bring them through the door with us, but they're not meant to go. And
So
then
true.
so sometimes when we let go and move forward without certain people, that becomes exposed, like the ones that I'm supporting you, I'm giving you money, I'm paying your mortgage, or I pay your car note when you miss a car note payment, and then I don't have it to give you. The love that you supposed to have for me is gone.
Yeah.
So now,
Absolutely.
so those people are the ones I was trying to bring through that door. And so once I, found out and everything got exposed, now that same door that was open and I don't have the extra baggage with me, now the doors that was always open for me, now I can go through. Now
Yeah.
this, like you said earlier, on the other side, like
Yeah.
on this side it's all messy and this, that, and it don't look like it's put together. And then you go on this side, you say, when I let this person go and that person go and this person went away, this is what came about and this is what happened.
Yeah.
And so life is, a lot better because, the circumstances. So
The
yeah,
other, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
The other piece of it is I had to do so much emotional work on myself because it's back
Mhm.
to we have that choice. I could have sat in and wallowed in the why me and the